Hello guys, welcome back to another video. And today we are going over the Norway Iceberg. Let's dive in. Harald II. Harald II of Norway was a Norwegian king who ruled from around 961 to 970 CE. He was the son of Eric Bloodaxe and grandson of Harald Fairhair, Norway's first king. Harald II came to power after his father's death and ruled part of Norway with his brothers, though his authority was often challenged by Danish influence. Harald Fairhair. Harald Fairhair was the first king to unite Norway, traditionally ruling from around 872 to 930 CE. According to saga tradition, he vowed not to cut or comb his hair until he had united all of Norway under his rule, hence his nickname, Fairhair. He achieved unification after the Battle of Hafrsfjord, defeating rival chieftains and establishing a centralized monarchy. Union with Denmark. The union between Norway and Denmark began in 1380, when King Olaf II of Denmark inherited the Norwegian crown, uniting the two kingdoms under one monarch. This led to the formation of the Kalmar Union in 1397, which joined Denmark, Norway, and Sweden under a single ruler, though Denmark was the dominant power. After Sweden left the Union in 1523, Denmark continued to rule Norway as part of a dual kingdom for nearly 400 years, with Copenhagen controlling most foreign and political affairs. Independence from Sweden. Norway gained its independence from Sweden in 1905, peacefully ending the Swedish-Norwegian Union that had lasted since 1814. The union was dissolved after growing Norwegian demands for full sovereignty, especially over foreign policy, which Sweden had controlled. A referendum showed overwhelming support for independence, with nearly all Norwegians voting to leave the Union. Kalmar Union. The Kalmar Union was a political union that joined Denmark, Norway, and Sweden under a single monarch from 1397 to 1523. It was established in the Swedish city of Kalmar under Queen Margaret I of Denmark, aiming to strengthen the Nordic kingdoms against external threats like the Hanseatic League and the German states. Although intended as an equal partnership, Denmark dominated the union, leading to resentment and repeated revolts, especially in Sweden. Roald Amundsen. Roald Amundsen was a Norwegian explorer and one of the greatest figures in the history of polar exploration. He was the first person to reach the South Pole in 1911, leading a well-planned expedition that beat British explorer Robert Falcon Scott. Amundsen also became the first to navigate the Northwest Passage through the Arctic, and later flew over the North Pole by airship in 1926. The Sami people. The Sami people are the indigenous inhabitants of Norway. They have their own distinct languages, culture, and traditions, especially known for reindeer herding, fishing, and handicrafts. For centuries, the Sami faced discrimination and forced assimilation by Nordic governments, which tried to suppress their language and culture. Resistance movement. The Norwegian resistance movement was a civilian and military effort that fought against the Nazi occupation of Norway during World War II. It included sabotage operations, underground newspapers, intelligence gathering, and helping people escape to neutral Sweden or Britain. Groups like Milorg and the Norwegian Home Front worked closely with the Allies to disrupt German control. World War II. During World War II, Norway was invaded by Nazi Germany on April 9, 1940, despite declaring neutrality. The Norwegian government and royal family fled to Britain, where they led a government in exile and supported the Allied war effort. Meanwhile, Norway endured 5 years of occupation under German control and the collaborationist regime of Vidkun Quisling, whose name became synonymous with traitor. Alta controversy. The Alta controversy was a major environmental and indigenous rights conflict in Norway during the 1970s and early 1980s. It centered on plans to build a hydroelectric dam on the Alta River in Finnmark, a region traditionally used by the Sami people for reindeer herding and fishing. The project sparked mass protests, including hunger strikes and large demonstrations in Oslo, as activists argued it would destroy Sami land and culture. The Jomsvikings. The Jomsvikings were a legendary band of elite Viking warriors said to have lived during the 10th and 11th centuries. According to Norse sagas, they were based in a stronghold called Jomsborg, likely located on the southern coast of the Baltic Sea. They followed a strict warrior code, emphasizing loyalty, bravery, and obedience, and were famed for fighting fearlessly, often for whoever could pay them, including both Norse and Danish rulers. Edvard Munch. Edvard Munch was a Norwegian painter and printmaker best known for his iconic work, The Scream, one of the most famous images in art history. His style combined symbolism and emotional expression, exploring themes like anxiety, love, and death. Munch's work had a huge influence on modern art, particularly the Expressionist movement of the early 20th century. The Battle of Stiklestad. The Battle of Stiklestad took place in 1030 and is one of the most famous battles in Norwegian history. It was fought between the forces of King Olaf II Haraldsson and a coalition of Norwegian chieftains who opposed his efforts to consolidate power and Christianize Norway. Olaf was defeated and killed in the battle, but his death became a powerful symbol of Norway's Christianization and national unity. Oseberg Ship. The Oseberg ship is a remarkably well-preserved Viking ship discovered in a burial mound at Oseberg, Norway in 1904. Dating from around 820 CE, it was used as a ceremonial burial for two high-status women, highlighting Viking craftsmanship and their shipbuilding skills. The ship is richly decorated with intricate wood carvings and is one of the finest examples of Viking art and maritime technology. Henrik Ibsen. Henrik Ibsen was a Norwegian playwright and poet, often called the father of modern drama. His works revolutionized theater by introducing realistic characters and tackling social issues like gender roles, morality, and individual freedom. Famous plays include A Doll's House, Hedda Gabler, and Ghosts, which challenged 19th-century societal norms and sparked widespread debate. Pomor trade. The Pomor trade was a historic trading relationship between the coastal people of northern Norway and the Russian Pomors from the White Sea region, lasting roughly from the 17th century to the early 20th century. It centered around exchanging Norwegian fish for Russian goods like grain, flour, and other supplies not readily available in Norway's north. This trade was vital for the survival and economy of remote northern communities and helped foster cultural contacts between Norwegians and Russians. Jan Wiborg. Jan Fredrik Wiborg was a Norwegian civil engineer and whistleblower known for exposing alleged corruption and cover-ups related to the construction of the Oslo airport at Gardermoen in the early 1990s. He claimed that crucial geological reports about the airport site's unstable ground conditions were falsified or ignored, warning that the location was unsuitable for safe airport construction. And that was the end of the Norway Iceberg. Sorry it had to be short today. I just wanted to get this done and out of the way. Anyway, hoped you like it. Bye.